Hey guys, so now that we are dropping items from the enemies, we can also create a widget that will display the items and let us pick them up. For that, let's go to widgets, let's create a new one, user interface, widget blueprint, and this one will be loot container underscore widget. Open it up, and in here we will add canvas panel as always. In here I'll add border. I'll anchor it to the middle, so Control and Shift and click. Make it maybe 380 times 200, 250. And now I will wrap this border with another border, so I can have the outside one. For this bottom one, we'll change padding to 0. And for the outside one, I'll do 4. And then for this outside border, I'm going to change the image to the frame I have included in one of the videos. You don't have to do this one, but it will look quite nice. And for the tint, I'm going to turn it down. And then also for this border, I'm going to change the tint like almost black. And now we have this box. So in here, I'll add another canvas panel. And what we need to do is we want to display the items, but it's not going to be same as the inventory. So not the square icons. I want to have one long one with the icon on the side and name. So bit of different style. So for that we'll need a vertical box. We'll add a vertical box. I'll anchor it to the whole thing and leave offset bottom. Change it to maybe 40. So we have a bit of space for some buttons. And now this vertical box, I'll wrap it with scroll box. So in case we don't have enough space for the items displayed, it will scroll. And on the scroll box, I'm going to change, always show scroll bar. So it doesn't mess up with the padding when it's not there, when it's hidden. Compile and save. Now to this bottom part, we can add horizontal box. Add it to the canvas panel. Now go to slot, anchor it to the bottom side, and do size Y40. In this box, I will add button. And now we will basically add 3 buttons, one for take, one for take all, and one for close. But first we're going to style this first one so we don't have to change it on each of them. So for the tint, I'm going to remove it completely. I just want to have an outside outline. So for outline, we need to turn off this brush transparency. And then for the outline, I'm going to turn it down and alpha will be only like 0.5. So we'll have a faint outline. And for padding, just search for padding. I'll do maybe 4 for this button, and on these ones I'm going to change it to 0 and 0. And maybe on pressed for top part only you can do 1.5, so when you press it, it will move slightly. Now back in this style. So rounded box is fine. We can just copy this normal. So next to normal, copy it and paste it into hovered and paste it into pressed. You didn't copy, so copy again, hovered, paste it, there we go, and paste it again. And now on hovered, I'm going to change the tint, but not the main one. I'm going to change outline to 0.6 and do it a bit lighter. I'm going to copy that outline. Did I change it on the right one? Yeah. Copy that outline and paste it into this outline on pressed. And do it 0.8 here, so it will be even lighter. We can change this bit here. There we go. Compile and save. So this is the button. Inside the button, we need to add canvas panel. In the canvas panel, we'll resize it to horizontal and fill vertically and Don't worry about the size now because it will resize automatically after. For the padding, we can do maybe 5 here. And now I'm going to add image to this canvas panel, which will be maybe 20 and 20. And this will be like a keyboard button. So just turn down the tint a little bit. Go to text and add text to this canvas panel as well. We need to make it maybe size 16 or 14. Let's see if I change the size to 20, not on X. On X can be 20 as well. So 20 and 20. And maybe change it to 12. Now this will be E. And we'll make it gray, so dark gray, which is like a button key. This is for taking an item. If you want to have a different key, you can set it up here. It will be just a display, obviously. So I'll move it, position X will be 10, no 10, 5, 6, so it's in the middle. I think 5 was better. And then position Y, I'm going to do 1. So it's directly in the middle. Then I can wrap this image also in the border, so it has small border around it. So wrap it with border, and this border will have padding of only 1. And color, so tint will be dark gray as well. So it actually looks more like button. Now we need to add another text. Maybe don't duplicate this one, just add fresh one to canvas panel. Be size 12. Size Y, do 12 so it centers it for you. But just offset position Y by 1 because for some reason it fits better like that. And then doesn't need to be 100, it can be like 80. And then we'll move it position X by 20, 25, or 24. And this will say take. So when we press E, we will take the item. Now, believe we have changed everything. We can duplicate this button 2 times. And now make sure this button is fill on all of them. That way we'll fill up the spaces. And now the second one will say take all. And I don't know what button you want to have for it, but in the games nowadays I think R is quite popular, so you have it very close, E, R, and then for this one it can be F, which will be close. And I'm also going to change appearance of font, which I could have done before, but I'm going to do light. Alright, so now we do have this widget with the buttons inside. Compile and save. We don't have to do anything else here. Now in the graph we will need some variables, so let's do inventory, which will be item info, and it will be an array. We don't need to make it instance editable and expose on spawn because I don't want to pass the struct directly to a new widget because that might cause some issues. We're going to do it in a different way. And for now you can also do custom event, and we're going to create build loot inventory. Okay, one more thing, we can change this vertical box to be, just remove the number, and this will be items vertical box and is variable. Okay, and now we can create the loot icon that we will add inside. So let's create new widget, right click user interface widget blueprint, and this will be loot icon underscore widget. We'll add canvas panel. I'm going to just dock these two in the project. And then after we add canvas panel, we need to add button, because this whole icon needs to be a button. We will make it size X. We do have 380, I think, so maybe this 350, so there is space for scroll box and some padding. And this one we can do 80. And now in here I'm going to also remove tint. Actually, here I'm going to turn it down all the way down and do 0.1, so just the faint one. You won't even see it here. And then I'm going to do outline, so uncheck this and outline again, turn it down and do 0.5. Just a bit of an outline. And here I don't want to have a strong corner radii, so I'm going to change it to 2 on all of them. And now to this one we can add image. Now first we need to add canvas panel, otherwise it won't let us have more children. So add image now. And we do have some padding on this button, so search for padding and remove it completely. We'll just add it to the canvas panel. So here on the canvas panel we can do 5. And this image now we can do 70. Why is it on the side? There is still some padding. Go to button, padding. Anchor to this side, 0, 0. Canvas panel needs to be resized to fill and fill. Okay, so now we have an icon on the side. This will be our item icon. So for now I can just do plate armor here. And we can call this item icon. Make sure it's a variable. Now in here we will add text. Not rich, regular text. This one I can position manually, so somewhere here. Just a little bit higher than the middle. And this one will be size 20. It can be bold, white, everything else is fine. Now we'll duplicate this text. I'll move it somewhere under, but this one will be way smaller, so something like 16. And will be light. So this one will be item name, which will be something like plate armor. We'll name this item name text as well. So item name text, check is variable. This one will be item type text. Maybe even smaller, 14. I think 14 will be fine. Move it just here. And now I also want to have rarity, so I'll duplicate the second one and maybe move it here or anchor it to the right side middle. Actually, if we have a longer name, it won't fit. So instead, what we could do is maybe put them next to each other. Let's wrap this one, the item type, wrap it with horizontal box. And now I'll add the second one here as well. And now this one horizontal box, alright, okay, it's this big, it's fine. So now this text is item type and this one will be item rarity text. compile and save. This one will also need to change the color, and it will be something like main hunt, and this one will say epic, and then just we can do something between them like dash or something. Or we can leave space, but I think the dash is going to look better, and I spelled epic wrong. There we go. So this will be the icon, and also for stack of this item we can just do again after the name, you can do like x10 or something if it's 10 of them. So we have this completed. Now in a graph, in this one we will need item info as well, which will be item info type. Again, we're not going to make it instance editable, just here. And remove tick, remove pre-construct. We're going to create a new custom event, which will be set load icon. And in here, instead of doing player reference on construct, which will cause us some issues because I'm planning to set this item info after we create the widget and then call this set load icon function. So sometimes if we got the player reference here, we wouldn't have it in time. So I'm going to call it here, cast to player blueprint, get player character, and promote it to variable called player reference. Now we have this, we're going to set the item icon, set text, did I get it wrong? Not set text, sorry, set brush, make slate brush, and then get the item info, break it open, and let's get icon and connect it to image. Now for the item name, we're going to get name, set text, text will be name, and actually, as I said, we want to append the quantity, so let's do append string connected here, and it will be name. In B we will do space X and add another pin, and that will be stack. So how many items we have there? That is text. And for rarity, for item type, let's do item type first. So set text, which is also we're going to append this because, as I said, I want to have a dash between these two, and we need to, if we give it to the rarity, then it will be in a color, so it wouldn't look good. So I'm just going to do rarity, not rarity, what is this, item type. We need to enum to string, so we convert it to correct format, and then paste it here, and the second value will be maybe space dash space, or you can do forward slash or anything you like, and then we don't need C value, remove pin. And then for rarity text, we're going to set text, text will be rarity, again enum to string, so convert it and copy it here. So that is a text rarity, and then we need to set color. And we do have a player reference, so we can get it, and there is a function called get rarity color. We need to plug in the item info, so connect it here and then connect it to set color. Compile and save. This is the icon set, but we're not using it anywhere yet. So let's go from the beginning, from the loopback. So open loopback blueprint here on event interact. So when we interact with it, we will remove this. And we're going to create widget. Widget will be loot container. And we need to add it to viewport. Then after that, from the return value, we need to set its inventory. So set inventory. We will set it from this loot inventory, which we have here. And after, we will also call from this build loot inventory. So we don't have to pass it directly here as an exposed variable, this inventory. We'll pass it, we'll set it after, and we'll call the build after. Because before, if we call this build one, it wouldn't have the inventory it needs. So now we're calling it, and there is a few more things we can enable straight away. So if you left it like this, it would add it to the viewport, but we don't have a mouse and we can't interact with it or scroll the items or anything. So we're going to set input mode UI only. Here we'll get player controller. We can flash input just in case your player was running and you open the widget, so it will stop running. And from player controller, we'll set show mouse cursor. And we also need to get from this widget, we need to do focusable. So set is focusable to true. So all this, we make a widget, and then just so you can see the actual widget, we can test it out now. So when we interact, we'll open this. We can actually press on this. Looks alright, maybe we can position it a little bit better. But let's just close this for now and let's create the inventory. So inside the loot container now, we will be building this. So get the items vertical box. First clear children, just in case you open it multiple times, so it wouldn't create any additional children like items. And then we'll do from the inventory for loop, for each loop. Thinking we don't need break, so just for each loop. And here we will create widget, which will be loot icon. And again, from here, we will set item info. From this array element here. And while we're here, actually, we can create the index after. That will probably be useful. So go to loot icon. Let's create also loot index, or loot icon index. And it will be integer. This one we could have exposed, but let's just set it after. So from the return value, set loot icon index. It will be this array index here. Let's tidy this up. And after we set the loot icon index, from here we also going to call the set loot icon. And this is why we got player reference in a set loot icon, because if you were to call it on spawn of the icon, sometimes when you want to set this, you wouldn't have a player reference because it doesn't create exactly in a, you know, like from left to right. It goes inside the widget and then you know, it would be in the wrong order basically. So let's just set it after we have the item info, and we also need to add it to this vertical box. So items vertical box, add child, and child will be this one here. We don't need to set any row or anything like that because it's vertical box, so we will add it in order. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Let's compile and save and see how it works. So now we open it, you can see we do have golden bow. Okay, we need to change this hover effect. And you can see I got 1 mana potion, 1 golden bow, and 83 gold. Another moment, nothing happens when I click on it, but that's what we want to set up. So first, let's also, you can see that this icon, there is no spacing between them, so those lines are not really nice. What I'm going to do is on loot icon, we can't really set the outside padding here yet, but there is that trick that we can do is wrap the main canvas panel with size box, and now on canvas panel you do have a padding which we can do 4, but maybe the top and bottom will only be 2. Compile and save. Okay, so this one has now bow, health potion, gold, it scrolls nicely, there is a bit of space between them, and what we can also change is this hover effect, because I don't want that. I don't want to change the whole button, so instead select the button here, copy this normal, so next to normal, copy it, paste it into hovered, and paste it into pressed. And now we're going to only change the outline. So I'm going to make it lighter and 0.7. Copy it and paste it into pressed. And I'm just going to leave it same so it doesn't change. And now if you go to pick up some items, so you can see my outline is changing, so you can see which item I'm selecting. I don't know if you can see it very well because it's thin lines. Well, now we got a nice widget. We can tell, you know, what quality it is, what it actually is, and this ×1. Maybe we will remove the 1 and don't display it if it's just one item. And for that I need to go to loot icon, and in here in the X instead I'm going to move this back. And I think the easiest way will be get the new variable which will be multiple stack. It will be boolean, and if this stack is greater than 1, we'll set this one here, and then in here we can do select node, and multiple stack will go to this, and if this is true, so if it is multiple stack, we will connect this that we have made, and this will go to output. But if it's false, we'll just connect the name, so only the name will go. Right, compile and save, open it, and yeah, you don't have it now here, only on the gold, which I think is a little bit better. So as I said, the functionality for it we will set up in the next one, because this video is already very long. So I'll see you then. Bye.